Jacob Lyon, also known as Jake in-game, played for the Houston Outlaws in Season 1 of the Overwatch League, after formerly playing on LG Evil in Overwatch Contender Season 0, as well as playing on Team USA in the 2017 World Cup, where he proved that he's a dangerous player to go up against when he's really feeling it. Jake is mostly known for his outstanding Junkrat play, as well as his ability to be versatile on flex DPS, and of course we can't forget all about all the memes he's part of. Jake has Riptire and J Loke are two of the biggest memes you'll see in OWL Twitch chat. So, how well did Jake do in the inaugural season of Overwatch League? Well, not as great as you might expect. Which begs the question, what happened to Jake? Well, in this video, we're going to be evaluating Jake's overall performance in Season 1 of Overwatch League to find out exactly where things went wrong. So, without wasting any more time, let's dive straight into it. In Stage 1, Jake and the Outlaws played quite well, as they finished with a 7-3 record, as well as a Stage 1 playoff appearance where they lost to the London Spitfire in the semi-final. The Outlaws actually started the season off 0-2 after losing to the Fusion and the NYXL, but were quickly able to rally back and win 7 of their next 8, including a win over the Stage 1 and Grand Finals champs London Spitfire. Not too shabby if you ask me. Everyone seemed to be playing well on Houston during this stage, including Jake. He was dominating the competition with his Junkrat, showing that he was one of the best in the league at him. And if you didn't know, Junkrat had gotten buffed around that time of Stage 1, so he was quite powerful. It was important to have a Junkrat on many maps for defense that we saw in Stage 1, so Jake was actually very effective. Unfortunately for Jake and the Outlaws though, Stage 1 was the peak of their season. Things only went downhill from here on out. During Stages 2 and 3, the Outlaws finished with a record below 500 if you combine their two records from the stages. The meta started to shift in a direction that was unfavorable for both Jake and his team when Tracer became a staple pick in just about every composition during these two stages. Both Jake and Lynxer have never really been known for their Tracer, but that was okay. At first, everything seemed like they would be just fine since the Outlaws had a Tracer specialist in Clockwork. But boy did things go wrong fast, as Clockwork was not playing as well as he needed to, and it was clear that the team was suffering when he came in for either Jake or Lynxer. As a result, the team started making Jake play a lot of Tracer. Lynxer also played her a bit, but not quite as much as Jake, as Lynxer needed to be on the Widowmaker a lot of the time. So now Jake was in a situation where he wasn't practicing much on heroes that he used to be good at, such as Pharah and Soldier 76, and instead mainly focused on Tracer and Junkrat, who was still a decently strong hero at the time even though he received some nerfs. This is when people could start to notice a decrease in production for Jake. It was starting to become obvious that the team made him play just a bit too much Junkrat. Just look at his playtime. Junkrat is his most played hero by far, which makes you think that he's a Junkrat one trick, and it's just not true. At least it used to not be true. I also think that Jake enjoyed playing him a little too much, as he's admitted that he very much enjoys playing the hero. Maybe instead of playing so much Junkrat during his downtime and during his streams, he should have been keeping his skills on other heroes sharp. It's definitely not all Jake's fault though, because like I said before, the coaching staff made him focus on playing Junkrat and Tracer a lot. Tracer is not a hero that Jake had much experience on coming into Overwatch League, so he basically had to practice and grind out a new hero he wasn't familiar with. It took Jake a few stages to finally become decent at her, but even that wasn't enough. Decent will never cut it against Tracer gods like Sabiobi, Striker, and Prophet. Stages 2 and 3 were not pretty for Jake and the Outlaws. Coming into Stage 4, it was clear that the Outlaws were going to need to have a stellar stage if they wanted any sort of chance of making the league playoffs. And now seemed like the perfect time to make a comeback since the meta had shifted into one that was more favorable for them. Mainly because Brigitte was finally allowed to be played, so that made Tracer no longer a must pick in most compositions. She had a pick rate of under 30% during Stage 4 if you were wondering. It also helped that Zarya and Hanzo were being played a whole lot more, as Jake proved that he is quite solid at the hero. Nothing spectacular, but he got the job done. Jake and the Zarya got himself spree really made an impact during this stage. They pulled off countless Grav Dragon Strike combos, and it proved to be very devastating. But it just wasn't enough to help propel the Outlaws to the playoffs in the end, as they just fell short of the number 6 seed. They did go 6-4 in the stage though, which was their best record since stage 1. Even though I think Jake played better than he had in the previous 2 stages, he still did play poorly at times, especially when he played on Pharah. He just seemed to disappear on that hero in my opinion. He didn't stand a chance against guys like Agilities or Libero in the Pharah battle, and I think it all goes back to him just playing too much Tracer and Junkrat. His Pharah doesn't look like it's at OWL level anymore, that's for sure. Overall, Jake did okay in his first season of Overwatch League, but it was definitely a letdown. And before someone goes in the comment section and says, "Why do you hate Jake so much?" let me just say that I don't hate Jake at all. In fact, he's one of my favorite players. I've been following Jake since Contender Season 0 because of how amazing he was at the time. I know we all talk about how crazy his Junkrat is, but I've always thought that his Soldier 76 was god tier as well. He used to be solid at all of the heroes he played back in the day, and after his performance versus South Korea in the World Cup, I think myself along with many others had reasonably high expectations for Jake in OWL Season 1, and he failed to live up to the hype. That's why I feel that it's very necessary to be so hard on him. I didn't make this video to hate on Jake. Don't get me wrong. It's more to express the disappointment I have in him. I used to think of him as one of the best players from the United States, but I'm not sure if I can say that anymore. There is without a doubt still hope for Jake and the Outlaws coming into Season 2 of the Overwatch League, however. If heroes like Hanzo, Pharah, and Brigitte are still relevant in the meta come Season 2, and Jake does some serious grinding on them after his long break, I think he could regain that peak we saw from him during the World Cup. I'm confident that Jake will be better in Season 2. If he puts in the work, then I guarantee you he'll be that same dominant player we all know and love. And that just about wraps things up here, guys. If you're new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and enable notifications so you don't miss the next Overwatch video. I'd also very much appreciate it if you could give this video a like, as it tells me you're interested in seeing more of these types of videos here on the channel. Also, feel free to leave a comment to let me know what you think of Jake's performance in Overwatch League Season 1. That's it, guys. I'm out of here. Catch you later.